Anything. Yes, anybody?
Yeah, I'll go
Okay,
ahead.
Chitra. Yes, please.
We saw again about Mahalakshmi's powers and grace. So, jealousy and hatredness, greed is something that she does not tolerate, and there is no place for mixed offerings and unclean
Hmm.
and feelings that are selfish.
Hmm.
Also, bitterness in the heart is something that she does not tolerate. She is kind and forgiving as she gives a chance to return once the impurities within leave and are cleansed. And she is convinced once the harmonies and appreciation for the beauty and stuff are unblemished. Basically, they are not concealed or they have some other hidden intentions. When they are just pure, she is convinced and she returns. And through such folks, where she finds the harmonies, they become her instruments. Life becomes divine because of her touch and her grace. Her presence can also make ordinary, simple things also divine. For the deserving, she gives and grants abundance, and not just in terms of material wealth, and she also grants wisdom, the occult wisdom and the mystic secrets. Oneness with the divine is something that was made possible by the Mother's grace. The combination of wisdom, harmony, and devotion is brought together by her. Her grace carries strength and force, which bring in perfection and charm.
Yes, absolutely. A wonderful summary. So this is Mahalakshmi. Mahalakshmi herself is harmony. She's the goddess of harmony. She harmonizes what? Everything. But she, like Ritrari just now said, she does not tolerate certain things. And she leaves that place where such things are there. Mahakali's roop is different. Mahakali smashes. She gives the punishment. She gives a strong, harsh punishment. But Mahalakshmi is different. She just disappears from that place, and then when disappear after disappearing, then that land is like barren. Suddenly, now wondering what to do. It is something like that. That's why many times we see some people have wealth coming in their life, going out, again coming in, again going out. What they are not realizing is they are not able to harmonize certain things which are basic. They need to become receptive. So some of the things which she dislikes, if we know that, we can at least avoid displeasing the Divine Mother because we need her, isn't it? Don't we need Mahalakshmi? Do we need Mahalakshmi just to increase the wealth that we have materially? No.
No.
Yes, Reshmaji, where do we need it? Yes, Reshmaji, where do you think we need Mahalakshmi?
Basically, to harmonize life and our
To
lifestyle, our
harmonize
lifestyle.
life. Ji, ji, ji. For
Yeah.
sadhana also, isn't it?
Yes, of
And
course.
for
As
ordinary
as
moment.
I just wanted to add to what Chitraji said in the end that she is the one who makes yoga possible.
Ah, yeah, yeah.
That is
Yoga je
where
yoga
for sadhana
sambhote
she is. Ambuje
Mahalakshmi
Mahalakshmi
namostute.
Namostu.
Absolutely. So that is Mahalakshmi's role. And when Mahalakshmi's presence is there, ordinary moment, it may be just like you sitting somewhere, probably having just a cup of a coffee or a tea or something like that. Just an ordinary moment. But with Mahalakshmi's presence, it will become bountiful, it becomes copious, it becomes abundant, it becomes luxurious. How that luxury is what? It is the luxury of that divine wealth, the divine prosperity. That is the role of Mahalakshmi. So we saw three of these goddesses. We saw first Maheshwari. Maheshwari was so vast, followed by Mahakali. Mahakali was all about her strength and force. After Mahakali, it was Mahalakshmi who was harmonizing. She's even harmonizing each other. And this we must understand that sometimes these narrow-minded approaches make people distinguish this to this versus this. Even there is sometimes fights among worshippers of the same path also. Or sometimes some people say my path is better and others. So like that, we shouldn't fall into that trap and try to, like people have, no? Children have some games in which they have stats of their heroes in the cards. So my card is more powerful versus your card. So Maheshwari here, Mahalakshmi. This is not the aspect we have to fall in that trap. We must recognize all are connected. Now we will be looking at Mahasaraswati. We will understand how Mahasaraswati is again connected with all three, and all three are not exclusive. They are interconnected. They are part of this Prakriti working as per divine will, but they are the force, they are the powers, they are the Shakti manifesting in this Bholoka. So we are now ready to enter into what is the power of Mahasaraswati. Before we begin, let us just look at the one illustration, an illustration of Mahasaraswati. Just give me one moment. I'm sharing the screen. Please, yes, can anybody see this? Please describe what you see here.
We can see the goddess seated in the center.
Yes, Ji?
We can see the goddess seated in the center,
Hmm.
absolutely still, poised,
Okay.
completely in white.
White.
Uh,
Ya kundendu
yeah,
tushar har dhavalaya shubhra
Harada.
vastravrita. So yes, the white robed. Absolutely.
Yes.
What is white a symbol of,
And
Vishwaji? White color,
purity,
purity,
purity.
isn't it? Purity. It's like a perfect
Yeah.
purity. No, no kind of adulteration. White color, you put some other color, immediately the white color will lose its purity. So this is maintained. Means this white is a what we can say immaculate white, a perfect white, a pristine white color. Yes, please. Please continue, Ji.
Yes. Yeah. So, as I said, she is absolutely seated in the center,
Hmm.
taking care and probably also guiding whoever and whatever is there around, especially in this
Hmm.
picture. So we can see people from different walks of life. Uh, it's not just walks of life, they are all proficient people, very specifically
Proficiently
it is
working.
depicted in this
Ah,
working
okay.
exactly.
What types of
And there
people
is
do you see
also
there?
they are from different ages. We can see the senior most,
Hmm.
I could call him
Okay.
a guru or someone who's sitting there.
Okay. An
And
elderly
the
person
junior
is there.
most, they're elderly,
Okay.
yeah.
Yes.
And there are people who are probably, according to me, as is depicted here, they are proficiently working, but for them, most probably she's making this work as music, according to me. So you
Okay.
can
All
see
right.
people
Reshmaji
actually playing
has.
musical instruments. Yeah.
Okay. All right. Anybody
There
else
are
would like?
artisans and teachers and all other occupations are
Yes.
also there other than musicians. Uh, there is a
Yes.
craftsman, there is a scientist,
Hmm.
and there's somebody
So,
working, I think, on a computer or at a table,
yes.
and
Yes.
even a person doing meditation in the center.
So, all of them, and they're
All of them.
all somehow you can see the waves emanating from Mahasaraswati,
Marvelous.
probably impacting them. And we can see a doctor also, isn't it? Somebody with a white
Yeah,
robe.
yeah.
We see somewhere else someone, means it's all types of works, physical work, intellectual work, everything.
Scientist is there. Yeah.
I mean, like
Scientist is also.
any Vidya you choose, it is coming from her. I mean, she's the one who
Okay,
is
so she is
granted
the
it.
goddess of Vidya. That is another nice thing Chaitanya ji has shared. So Vidya is something which is probably emanating. That's
What is that in her hand? One is a white lotus, the other one
one is just some instrument. Ji. Yes,
somehow.
yes, yes, yes. She is just like conducting an orchestra,
Hmm.
no? She is
Hmm.
orchestrating the movements. There's
Yeah.
also the Veena is also, it is
That's the
traditionally,
reason actually I told she is making everybody's
yeah.
work
Yes, yes.
as
And if
if it is a
anybody has
music. Yeah.
anybody has played the Veena, it's one of the most difficult ones to instruments to master.
Most difficult.
Yes, yes. That is itself a sadhana. For someone who has learned to master the Veena, we can just do say namaskars for that itself because it requires a lot of efforts. So now with this, we are
True.
ready. We are ready to enter into what is the power of Mahasaraswati. Let us look at the inspired rhymes from Sri Aurobindo's words now. I'll stop sharing. So let us begin. Mahasaraswati, the executive force, closest and youngest of the four, entrusted she is with the work of bringing perfection to the fore. So, what she is the executive force. We'll look at it again. She's the executive force, closest and youngest of the four. Closest to whom? Closest to all of us. And youngest of the four. Entrusted she is with the work of bringing perfection to the fore. Her powers lie in her harmonizing works. The God's labor she performs as she manifests the spirit in physical matters, myriad forms. Engineering nature, she administers with skill and a technical precision, creating the perfect worker in her chosen one to bring forth manifestation. Again, I repeat, engineering nature, she administrates with skill and a technical precision, creating the perfect worker in her chosen one to bring manifestation. So we just look at the first set of lines, the six lines there. If you see, she is considered to be the executive force. Means there are two forces in the play in this Srushti itself. One is the creative force, another is the executive force. So she is that executive force. She's closest to whom? Closest to all mortals. Why? We need to find out. She's youngest of the four, meaning she manifested after all three of them. First, if you look at it, maybe that is why Sri Aurobindo described in that particular order also. First, there was the, if you see, we have to go into metaphysical truth, it has to be experienced rather than trying to analyze it intellectually. But still, just trying to think about it. Maybe there was all that vastness of Maheshwari. Then that Maheshwari's vastness got some impetus, sudden impetus, and there was a force of breaking the mold and creating something. That was Mahakali. But after the mold was created, what happened then? Then there was distribution of that creative force. There was harmonizing of it, which was brought about by Mahalakshmi. Then came Mahasaraswati. And what was Mahasaraswati's role? It is about the engineering the finest and finest things, ensuring it is perfect. See how Sri Aurobindo in his poem has said that the same hand that set Jupiter spinning spent all its cunning to fashion a curl. The same hand that has sent the huge Jupiter is considered huge, isn't it? I think in Sanskrit it is called Guru Graha, no? A very huge one. But you see, that same hand which has created the Graha Guru, that same hand has spent same amount of importance in even making the smallest curl and making it beautiful. If you just look at a small curl, may it be a curl of a feather or just looking at its beautiful shape, a design is there, and so it is with that precision. So this is Mother's Saraswati's work. She is engineering what? Engineering nature only. The entire Prakriti. All of us come into nature, isn't it? Sometimes we say today I'm not good natured, tomorrow, but all these are moods. Where whatever our mood is, she is not bothering. She is at work, and that is her job. She has taken up that. It's like a god's labor she is performing in the myriad forms of physical matter. What does she do? Why does she do this? This is also mentioned there. Anybody? It's in the sixth line. Can someone tell me what do you think the reason? Why is she doing all of this? What is the role of
To
this
create a
executive?
perfect worker and
Yes,
bring his work to manifestation.
to bring the perfect worker's work or the divine's work?
Divine's work
The
through
divine's
his
work.
work.
So
Yeah.
true, yes, yes. So
Yeah.
the perfect worker is who is a good instrument, a nimitta matra, who is the right instrument. Only such a person can be the perfect worker. And she is working for that. And in her chosen
He's
one, so
the
she chooses.
chosen one. Yeah.
Yes, yes, yes. She chooses. And the one she chooses, that person gets transformed. So she starts working on her. But is it a work like Mahakali's work? No,
Exactly opposite if you ask.
it is like that. This is a Hindi phrase, no? So sonar ke ek lohar ke.
Yeah.
So this is Sonar's work here, goldsmith's work. Little, even 1 gram or one little half gram, 0.25 gram also will not go in wastage. I have to ensure. But what is she working on? She's working on metals also. She's not. She's she's working on all. What we can say, what is perfect, what is imperfect also, because all is part of nature. Bhagavad Gita tells us that only. Bhagavad Gita tells us that there is vikara also, no, in the nature. In the Prakriti, there is also something called vikara.
Vikruti.
Vikruti is also there. That is what makes us very disappointed or sometimes even disillusioned with life itself. What is this? What kind of world are we living in? These are all questions that come in because we get irritated or disturbed looking at it. If we are getting disturbed just by one small sakshatkar of little bit of Vikruti, look at what Mahasaraswati must be witnessing. She must be witnessing. Just imagine if she is the goddess of learning, she is giving what we can say impetus to the best of the best learners. Say music also, best musicians. There was this great, we can say Lata Didi, Lata Mangeshkar, one of the great Ratnas of our Bharat. What about her? They would say she is Saraswati incarnate. But then is everybody Lata Didi? No, isn't it? So many of them while doing Riyaz, they must be destroying the source so much. But them also she is working, she is guiding slowly, taking them ahead. Chalo beta, good Riyaz, let's go ahead better. Come forth. So she's engineering nature and working. That is her role. This is something. My question is, does this require patience or it does not require patience?
Yes, indeed. Patience, time.
Patience. And infinite patience, isn't it? So much
Yeah.
sometimes. With just that is something that is her quality. Let's continue. So she is, what is she doing? She is going to work in her chosen one to bring a manifestation. What does she do? Bestowing upon him boons of knowledge, subtlety, and patience, perfect intuition, and clairvoyant clarity indicate her worldly presence. So, what is she doing? Bestowing upon him boons of knowledge. Saraswati is prasanna. You will start learning. You will start understanding. You will start experiencing the joy, the ananda, which comes from understanding new things, learning, growing. So that will happen. Second is the person starts becoming subtle. Means the person becomes conscious of little things also. I speak this way. What is the consequence of this? I better understand that. What we call Vaktapa in the Bhagavad Gita. With Saraswati's Ashirvada, the person automatically starts walking. This is a Vidya Vinayena Shobhate or Vidya Dadati Vinayam. Humility also comes into that person. These are all good qualities which start coming inside of a person. As it's like more and more when you learn, more and more when you grow, you become humbler because you understand. Yo, right, there is so much more to know. There is so much more that I don't know. What's the use of all this boastfulness? This is so temporary. Right now, I am showing off to somebody, and somebody feels I am so great. but I know how much I don't know. Who am I trying to impress? So this, instead, let me speak words which are sufficient. When somebody who is given the Ashirwad or Saraswati, that person may even get Vacha Siddhi. That person's words, what he says or what she says, will start coming true. Why? One more reason is that person will not use too many words. The person is not going on predicting, this is going to happen here, this is going to happen. That is not how a person is going to get. A person's words, they start receiving a tantric strength, a depth which comes from sadhana and the Ashirvada of Mahasaraswati. Another thing, yes, Chaitanya
Uh,
ji, please tell me.
yeah, I had one question. So we know that both type of people, as in there are people who make use of, I mean, good use of what they know. They are very skilled and learned, and they make use of that for good things. And there are also bad, I mean, people who don't, I mean, make use of those things for bad things. So do we say that Ma Saraswati is actually blessing both of them? Because we see people who are equally skilled, but who don't have good
Can
intentions
you
as
give an
such.
example of a bad thing, Chaitanya ji? If you give an example of a bad thing.
So I will just play little I mean, devil's advocate here. So just to give an
Sure, sure,
example of
please.
a terrorist also, like, so you are trying to break into a system. That person is actually having so much of knowledge that he is actually able to surpass so many, layers of defenses and everything. So he must be very skilled, very intelligent. Correct. And at the same
Hmm.
time, he is making use of that for bad thing. I mean, he is not actually using it for good thing. He could have used it. So on the other side, you have good people who are actually trying to stop him, or, trying to expose such people. So both are, I think, equally skilled, equally learned, but one is making use of used for good, and one is making use for bad. So in both cases, are we saying Ma Saraswati is actually, because
See,
there has to be some grace, right?
that person, very, very nice question, Chaitanya ji. So when the person is learning, no, when the person is learning, the person is sincere, the person gets the wisdom to leave the organization also, even if the person may be a terrorist organization. But if there is the force of dvesha, there is jealousy, there is revenge, there is hatred, what is going to happen? We will see now when we study the entire power of Mahasaraswati. But Mahalakshmi has talked about this. That is where Mahalakshmi gets angry. Mahakali does not tolerate 1% of insincerity, not even little bit. Meaning her force, then they are planning to, do some blast. Their life only ends in a blast. So many times it is there, the path that is chosen. But as of now, we can say in terms of what does Mahasaraswati give us is the wisdom. Wisdom is right knowledge, no? This is the wrong knowledge which is being used. Means Vidya is being used like you see Tantra sadhana. There are so many reasons to do that sadhana. There are so many reasons not to do it also. Most people go on the wrong reason and then they experience consequence. They keep spending their entire life fighting to exotic battles. My goddess has become not prasanna now, so I will make her prasanna with this mantra. But oops, I did not see Panchanga. Today was that god's day, so I need to go. Let's make this person. Then this, then this. They keep going in circles without understanding the mood. What is the base? So terrorism is wrong. Maybe somewhere that person sincerely learning, I want to learn coding, for example.
Yeah,
So he
correct,
is learning with some sincerity is there in coding is learning. But while he is going to learn coding, while entering the code, he does not keep thinking kaboom, kaboom,
correct.
explosion right
Because
now.
the
So
person can be
there,
honest towards his learning, or what he is
yeah,
trying to do. Yeah,
but
but
the
yeah, on the other
wisdom,
hand, yeah,
because it has got the purity has got mixed with a personal intention. This
correct.
person is taking a personal vengeance, believing he is doing it for something. He is not surrendered to Ma Saraswati completely. So they will not receive it's just the force, no? We're talking
Correct.
about power. Power itself is what? Power corrupts also, they say, no? When one
Yes.
has to understand this is the divine's power cannot be used by man because man is quite insignificant. Yes,
Oh,
Reshma ji is saying something.
thank you.
Yes, ji, thank you, ji.
Yeah, just wanted to add to what Chaitanya ji said is, see, it also must be in every likelihood that this person who is, suddenly changed his um, vision and idea or ideology must have already learned before getting this this
No,
kind of
no,
thought
that
that
is
he
true,
needs
but
to.
what he is saying is also, if we just look at that example and
Yeah,
we'll go
yeah,
back
it is
into
there, but then
Mahasaraswati,
what I'm trying to say
there's
is the sincerity came into picture
hmm.
even before this wrong idea gotten into his head,
No,
is
but there
what
are
I'm trying.
many, Reshmani, even after walking on that path of terrorism, so many of them have renounced it after sudden change of heart. That is again,
That's
that is
also there.
knowledge, isn't it? That is again knowledge. So let us,
True.
we are looking right now not at individuals though, we are looking at the goddess herself. We are looking at the powers of the goddess. What somebody is going
Approaching.
to do, it is like we have electricity in the house, so we can use electricity for n number of appliances, which may be good, which may be bad, but we are right now trying to get that electricity connection. That is our entire focus. Ki what is Mahasaraswati going to do? How is she going to affect me, or how am I going to try to connect with her? So right now we see this aspect of her is that she chooses her person. Means that person is chosen probably by the sincerity of the call. That has not been explained yet. In the first 6 lines, we just see her operation. She is a technician. She is the supreme divine technician. This is important. These techniques also are important for manifesting, for execution of divine's will. Divine has in a state of bliss. I don't need to manifest anything. No manifestation would have come. Rekoham bahusyami. I am one, let me become one, many. And then the entire game began. So something like that. This is role. Active role in manifestation. Meaning, let us see, because see, there's a mixture. No, it's not perfect. In manifestation, we are seeing what is imperfection also. Let us see what is Mahasaraswati's connection with imperfection. Means how does this work? If there is imperfection, does it work? Because so far we have seen very interestingly the Maheshwari does not bother. She is too high in her consciousness. She's going to be beyond the reach of the person. The person's thought only will not go. Forget trying to connect with the Maheshwari's power. What supramental? There is no supramental. Such a person will say, because this person is unfortunately not been touched by the grace of Maheshwari. Mahakali will give left and right to that person who is having insincerity. She will not spare that person also. Mahalakshmi will leave that place, make that person suffer the absence and feel weak and feel what we can say extremely impoverished and his, I mean, absolutely in a worse state, where at least then the person may get realized. But let us see how Mahasaraswati is going to help. We will keep Chaitanyaji's question in the back of our head, but let us now look at this. So, what is she doing? She is creating a perfect worker, the good nimitta. The nimitta is the one who is going to manifest the will of the divine. So, the will of the divine is what is important. And she creates a perfect worker, meaning she teaches the worker how to stop interfering with personal ambitions, personal ankara, personal barriers, how to not let that affect the reception. Means if you know there is transmission on one side, another side is reception, isn't it? And there is a losses in reception, losses in transmission. This happens everywhere, whatever technology you use. But there's one technology where it does not happen. If Guru Shishya relationship, if the Shishya is a Sat Shishya, sometimes Sat Shishya can receive. And Guru says, I will send you this much, this much amount of what energy, and remaining the divine will also send. You become receptive to receive. So good instrument is a good adhar for holding that power. So this is what Ma Saraswati does. She starts making a person a perfect instrument, a perfect worker. And she is leading by example herself. She is laboring. And we say Yadyad Acharati Shrestha in the Gita. So when you start realizing Maha Saraswati is working, you say, oh my God, no, I cannot become lazy. I have to follow that example. That is the relation between the worker of Maha Saraswati and the goddess herself. Let's continue. What does she do? She bestows upon him boons of knowledge, subtlety, and patience. Perfect intuition. This is beautiful. You see, intuition is something which people sometimes get glimpses of intuition. But Mahasaraswati is giving perfect intuition, meaning sometimes they get the clear picture. The mother of Sri Aurobindo Ashram, while walking, she had stopped I mean, on their way, she stopped and she said, "This is where Orwell will be born." She got that. What was it? How did she get the clarity? How did she? That time the charter was also not written or something in detail, maybe. Nothing. She got it and that was it. That is a intuition which is perfect, which is also accompanied by a clarity which is clairvoyant. You see, the person is able to understand what is going to happen later on. When some words are told by some people, and we know that these people are telling with some upasana, they are doing some upasana, they are following Mahasaraswati, they are using those words sparingly. Let's listen to those words, or at least let's note them, because most of the time we don't remember words spoken by people only. There are so many spoken by so many people that we have enough words, we see enough videos also of people talking, we don't remember. But sometimes some words stick in our head, and those words exactly happen, and we get shocked. You say, how did this person know? How did this person must have got some premium subscription in some plan. I should also get that premium subscription with that divine. Tell me, how do I get it? Well, it is the connection. This is the connection with Mahasaraswati, which nobody. Why I said premium subscription is somebody just sent me a link advising me to pay for receiving some mantras. So I was like, okay, which will help me go to Supermind according to him. So I was like, thank you. But my mind is not ready yet. So I will wait for the right moment. But whatever it is, Mahasaraswati allows and she takes a person. These are all indications of her worldly presence. This is so beautiful. Means, how do I understand? Arjuna asked Krishna same thing. Krishna, how do I understand divine's presence? And then Krishna starts giving so many vibhutis that how can I not understand when there are so many vibhutis? That is the final feeling. Because you see, look at each and everything that is beautiful, that which is brilliant. You will find my presence. I am Rama. I am also Krishna. I am also Shankara. I am the Meru. I am also in the, I am there, I am Varuna also, I am here also, I am there also. That was what Krishna was telling in all that is brilliant. He says, recognize me. The Upanishad also says, Yatte Kalyanatamam Tatte Pashyami. Or the great poem is there, Jai Jai Uttama Udana Unnata Mahan Madhurate The. That which is brilliant. That was by Savarkar. It was so beautiful. Which is brilliant, that is beautiful, that is glorious. That is the divine. Means these are indicators. So what is all of this? You see, the boons that have been received from Ma Saraswati are the indicators of her presence in this Bhulokka. I can see this boon and I can say Ma Saraswati is working. Lata Mangeshkar's voice is so divine. People say this cannot be possible without a presence of some divine being. How can somebody have that? Like that, some people's knowledge, oh, this is divine. This person cannot have knowledge without divine's, some intervention. I cannot feel this is not logically possible. But patience also. Patience also is a virtue which is considered divine. This is something brilliant. We think we equate patience with weakness many times, unfortunately, in the general social dialogue. This person is patient because this person is weak. It's not necessarily a weakness, it's actually a divine quality sometimes. You have to understand its value. Then intuition, clairvoyance, all of these factors are outer worldly indicators of the presence of Mahasaraswati. How is she? Just because she is working with patients does not mean she is not powerful. She is equally powerful. She is powerful like each of the goddesses. We are not going to sit and try to make power charts of each goddess and say this goddess more, that goddess is less. Then I will call upon this goddess to neutralize the work of the other goddess. That is if there is no other work. Let's continue. Almighty and powerful, she ever proceeds with care and caution. There is technique and artistry in her organized fashion. So, how is she? She is most organized. There is a technique in it, there's an artistry in her works. She is almighty also, she is powerful as well. By her meticulous wizardry, the world is structured and organized. In the new creations in nature, her art is verily materialized. So, what happens? Through new creations, her art is materialize in this bholoka. There's a meticulous wizardry which is there, very structured. But now, what is new creation? Anybody? Can someone tell me what is new creation?
Could be anything, a poem, a work of art, a musical composition, anything
Okay, it could be anything like
created.
that. What about inside of oneself? New creations are possible?
Yes.
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 Yes, isn't it? What we can say, Navachetana, a new consciousness manifesting. It's like suddenly the one who is always afraid, somebody who is timid, somebody who feels I cannot do anything on my own. I'm not strong enough. I'm not wise enough. Suddenly that person stands up with all the strength ready to face all the challenges, whatever were there in the past, plus many more. Bring them on. I am not afraid. What is that? That is a Chaitana's change, a change in consciousness or the birth of a new consciousness. So Mother Saraswati is also connected with this dawn of new consciousness. There is a Devi in the Rig Veda whose name is Usha. She is the goddess of the new dawn. Again, the symbolism Sri Aurobindo had described. Her powers are what? The dawning of a new consciousness in man. That is very close to, means that is why Vedic Saraswati we saw in the beginning. Vedic Saraswati is also this great goddess who is connected with the other powers. There is Ila, there is Bhaga, there is, we can say, so many such other goddesses. Mahi is also one more goddess. So, anyway, let us continue. We, the impatient mortals, understand not her detailed labor, endless. She administers and directs an integral transformation, flawless. So we who are we are impatient. Why are we impatient? Because we have a myopic view many times. We, in the sense, general mortals. What are we looking at? Now. I am living in the now. Let me get something back. I am living, I don't know how many years I'm going to live. Let me quickly get something in return. So what does that make? People talk about living in the moment. There's a lot of difference between being conscious and living in the moment or living in a moment in a rush, in a hurry. Quickly, let's just enjoy, do whatever we want in this moment. There's a difference, there's a lot of difference. And here, this is why the impatient mortals do not understand. How can Mahasaraswati wait? She's waiting for 8 years to work on this person. Look at that person. 8 years, this person is not changing, not transforming. I spoke to my friend for 8 minutes. He did not listen to me. I got irritated. I said, I'll never see you for 8 more years because that was the limit of my patience. That is how human beings are, isn't it? But here, Mahasaraswati is going to wait patiently. And that is something we don't understand at all. Why are you so patient? Don't be. This is what man will keep praying to Mahasaraswati, but that will not make a difference because that is her way of functioning. We don't understand why is she taking so much efforts? Not required. Nothing will manifest here. Don't waste your time. This is what man will advise Mahasaraswati. Nothing is going to happen here. But she sees, she is having that clairvoyance. Yes, yeah, acha beta, you're saying that. All right, all right. Let's see, let's see. And then the most unexpected manifestation takes place. Then everybody complies. So her, until the problem with manifestation is that until it is manifest, people don't realize its existence, isn't it? So until then, we consider it unmanifest. But we don't understand there is such a big process behind manifestation. Man likes to click all miracles. Today I did this sadhana, this goddess came, she gave me one power boost, and I got this. That's all is very easy to understand. But to understand so many years of upasana where step by step, a person went ahead, that feels unnecessary. No, no, it should not be like that. But that's not the way. This is her functioning. She administers and directs. What she does, directs an integral transformation, a complete transformation. Her patience and endurance are limitless. So this is not just patience, she's also having endurance. This is so important. They are limitless. And she investigates every defect. Patience accompanied by endurance. Her patience and endurance are limitless. She investigates every defect. Her touch molds nature's shortcomings to perfection in every aspect, meaning all dimensions. Perfection from this angle, from that angle, every angle she looks at manifesting perfection. Patience with endurance. Somebody tell me what is the need for endurance in terms of sadhana for an individual? In sadhana.
Yeah, because it is not easy. There needs to be inner strength
Hmm.
to not give up,
To not give up. You
to
need to
not
go
give
on.
up.
No? Sometimes it looks
Yeah,
very
go
difficult,
on.
isn't it?
Yeah,
The path.
yes.
Yeah, I mean, maybe you will not get something in return immediately, or maybe even, you you may end up in a situation where you will be doubting yourself whether I'm doing it right. Uh, is it actually going to work out? But then that endurance to go through the difficult situation, to get out of that frustration, and again have that clarity and trust that whatever I'm doing is right and going to eventually work out. Maybe when it's God's will, it will work out. But up to that point, it's my job to do my part. So probably that
Continue,
type of
isn't it?
endurance, yeah, that continuation, that is very important. So probably that is where she comes in then.
Yes. Yes. She's that. She's helping a person. The Shraddha should be accompanied by Saburi. Both are equally important. So a person's path, imagine you just try, it's like water. I want to heat water and start making it boil. Can I turn it on for 10 seconds, again off, again 10, off, again on? No, I need to continuously heat it. No, that tapa has to come, isn't it? That is how tapasya also is done in a similar manner. Slowly but regulated manner. That is how the heat is generated. Something like that. She has, along with patience, the most important quality of endurance. There's something we sometimes lack. We start off some sadhana, then we stop, then we say we cannot do it. I am not good enough for doing it. Bad things are happening. Or sometimes very easiest thing my friend gave me a very fun. I like doing meditation, but every time I meditate, I feel like scratching my nose. So I have stopped meditating. This was the most funniest. This was my own experience earlier, actually, but then I did not stop meditating, but using this as an excuse. And this is a lack of endurance, isn't it? So the person could not cross the first barrier at all. So it is something like that. Let's continue. So her touch is there. Her touch is there for molding, for shaping, for making things perfect. What can be made perfect? Anybody? Anybody?
Something which is not perfect
Yes,
is
isn't it? What is imperfect only can become perfect. So there is no harm in that. We must at least not start, oh, I'm this, I'm that. Instead, just offer ourselves. Mother, this is your child, useless with so many flaws. Please make this child useful for you, not for me, for yourself. Please use for your work, for manifestation. If such a person is available for the divine, Mukam karoti vachalam pangum langayate girim. What transformations can happen? They will what people call miracles. They are those transformations, and that is possible in everybody. They should be available for Mahasaraswati's working, and she works continuously, meaning she does not take rest only. We wonder how is that possible? Yes, she works without rest. Damaji also uses this very nice phrase. Change of work is rest, is what he says. Meaning you do this work, there are so many things to be done always, and you're working, and it's like every work is offered to the divine. That means it is not like a boring task which has been imposed upon you. You're offering it to the divine. So maybe you want to take rest or you want to get refreshed. All right, look at something else which needs to be worked on. Then some people are there who get fresh. Well, this is Mahas Saraswati's trait actually. She is the one working hard. Even a moment's rest she does not take. Ever at work, our imperfect world, our mother doesn't forsake. This is, we are so lucky. She doesn't forsake. Means other Devis sometimes walk away, no? Sometimes some Devis are so far away, we don't realize them. Or some mothers are so strict they get punishment and then we are left alone. Like child has been slapped and now child is crying all alone. Or just leave the place. But no, this mother is not like that. She is the one who doesn't forsake this world. This imperfect world she does not leave. What was done, what is, and what will be, all she verily knows. Forsaking no one and nothing, she, the conscious one, onward goes. No one and nothing. So Chaitanyaji's question about the terrorist, when the terrorist is seeking Vidya, no? She will not forsake that child also, trying to point out at every point, better you're on the wrong path. The person will keep getting lessons. But if still the person student decides, no, that's not the teacher's fault, no. If the student decides not to learn, it is something like that. But this is the force of Saraswati. That is why she's closest because she's continuously at action, always available. Meaning, if we at any times feel somewhere that we're not receiving it, just understand she is there, just a call away. Just a call away, she is there. Most of the time, we don't make a call, no? Why to Mother Saraswati? We don't make a call even to our friends sometimes. Either we think I am too great to make a call, or what will that friend think? Maybe that friend may not feel like it, or it may. Sometimes people don't talk for years and years just because of such apprehensions. This is not required. Mother Saraswati is ours. She is closest. She's always away. Let's not hesitate at all. I think this we must take a call. Ki, chalo, let us anytime we need to learn something, let us invoke. Let us invoke her. She will guide, and she doesn't worry about what is your status, how much you know, how much you don't know. This Ai Bahinabai was an illiterate poetess. She never got to go to school. She didn't get to learn all of this. She didn't get to read and write like so many of us. And she says, Maji Maya Soroswati, Maza Shikavite Boli. My mother Saraswati teaches me how to speak. That's her song which she has created, and that too her son recorded it. It was published posthumously. Bhagavad Gita came from the soil, is what she says. How? What? Well, this is the Upasana of Saraswati. Without knowing anything, also you can start learning because knowledge is there around all of us. Mahasaraswati is there to teach us. I just had a good chance to talk to one of the one wonderful scholars in Bharat, Dr. Sampananda Mishra. He is a nice professor of Sanskrit, and he was just talking about how Sanskrit root words are there. Each root word has a beautiful the meaning. If you understand the root word, you will understand the language. Sri Aurobindo received in the jail. He received the language, the science, all of it. How is it? Because this is Mahasaraswati's work. She is there to teach. We are only somewhere lost in our own Maya. We are lost in our own Ahankar. We are lost in our own, what we can say sometimes, we say, no, we are busy. We are busy for Mahasaraswati when she is the busiest and yet always available for us. Let's continue. What was done, what is, and what will be, all she verily knows. Forsaking no one and nothing, she, the conscious one, onward goes. Even the infinitesimal and insignificant can't escape her aware gaze. She detects all that is hidden and obscure in nature's maze. So, what is it? Her gaze is so sharp. We can say, like this eagle eyed one. It is like that. The smallest of smallest things cannot be lost. Nothing is insignificant. She can understand even the smallest. I think this is something we should also learn. We should stop rejecting things as trivial and forgetting it. because many times we get hints. And I'm telling you, if we get the habit of being in communion with the goddess, you can actually have dialogues with her. She will tell you through examples, she will tell you through people, she will tell you through science, through omens, through 100,000 languages, because all languages are hers. You don't have to expect her, you have to tell me in Shuddha Sanskrit language only, Ma. Then only I will understand or accept. Can be in any language, in any form, because she is the goddess of learning. She is there to teach to every single seeker who wants to know. But she works. And so these are even the smallest things. Small, insignificant things are also seen by her very clearly. She detects all that is hidden, all that is obscure in nature. Inexhaustible are her reserves, and she uses them all without discriminating if her creations are big or small. She has so many reserves and she doesn't keep them in waiting. She uses all of them. Means how do we recognize that? How do we identify that in our everyday life? Meaning doing with a full enthusiasm. Means there is no work which is too big or too small. The same enthusiasm. If we want to follow Mahasaraswati's lead, we must start doing all actions with the greatest enthusiasm, whether it is small or whether it is big. And sometimes when we start doing this, then we realize that, right, really there is nothing which is small or big, because many times what we think is big and biggest in life turns out to become very small. And the smallest things where we give a little bit interest in, sometimes, you give a word to your friend, you speak something nicely to somebody somewhere, and for you it is too small. But you will not believe how big it may be for someone else. That is what is the power of Mahasaraswati, and she uses all her. That means that is why we must be conscious of our words and do all actions with enthusiasm. It really, really helps. I used to think, what is the use? Sometimes I used to write too many poems. Now, there's nothing wrong in writing too many poems, but I was just writing, writing, writing. And then one day I thought, enough of all of this. What am I even saved all my passwords as no more password, no more poetry. Because enough. I didn't want it at all. Around that time, something happened, and I wrote one poem. Well, thinking, big deal, what will this poem do? When that poem it came out of someone's suicide, and I thought, now I have to write something, so I wrote down. I got a message that I am going to suicide after that poem. I got shocked. This poem is for the other purpose. And what an opposite reaction has come to me. I could not understand what is wrong. I started praying. Okay, I hope this, because this person went out of communication after sending me that message. And the person was not somebody I knew. Through someone he saw just people get notifications, right? He saw the notification of the poem and sent it to me. So fully I was praying, ki, this poem, at least if it's not doing good, what has it done harm? That was the fear. But after 4 days, by God's grace, Saraswati's grace, that person did not do anything. But he said that poem helped me not take that decision. I was satisfied and I said, I will never underestimate poetry again. I will not say words are meaningless, words have no value, all of that, because that was all a frustration of some personal, what we can say, disappointment in my previous, what we can say, a phase when I was going through. What is the use? Nothing manifesting, nothing is manifesting. These are all ideals. I had written so much. I'm giving birth to stillborn kids and whatnot. I was so angry with everything at that time. But you see, that moment taught me that yes, we don't have to, we never have to look at certain things as big just because 500 people say this is good. They give their thumbs up or hearts, it becomes good. And here only one person is sent. Sometimes people call and say, give me more hearts for my comment. It is silly. It does not matter. It does not matter. What is most important is our consciousness. With what consciousness we do things. We can do that when we are cooking. Let us consciously cook. When we are eating, let us consciously eat. My friend's girlfriend swallowed a safety pin and she had a, not safety pin, stapler pin in the eatery. And then she had to drop out of college for a year. Luckily, it did not turn out to be life threatening. So, what was it? It was unconscious action. So this unconsciousness is the biggest problem. Wherever we are, we have to understand with that same enthusiasm, big or small. Who knows? It is divine's decision to decide what is big, what is small. That is exactly what Mahasaraswati does, and probably that is what we must, as individuals, follow. Let us work with full sincerity, with all the reserves that we have for the works that are. Means it does not mean what we can say improper allocation of reserves. With the same enthusiasm, big or small, let us do the right work. Let's continue. Her mission is to manifest the truth in its complete form. Reworking and shaping all to completeness is her norm. So her job is this only. Executive spirit is execution of the will of the divine, that is manifestation of truth. That is her work. What is she doing? She is reworking, she is shaping all to completeness. Her intuitive eye knows all fits in proper condition and space. And so she knows which will fit where. She knows that this is a triangle will go into the triangular block only. Something like that. She understands this person. We may feel this person is imperfect, this person is hopeless, this person cannot do anything good. But Mahasaraswati knows, see, this person is required. You're walking on a road, you will see one very aggressive dog on that road only. That dog will start barking. You're like, what is this nonsense thing? You will go on another road. Who knows, Mahasaraswati may have planted that dog there because that is not the road you should take. Because she knows how to use all the forces, all the members for her plan. She has an intuitive eye which can see. That is Mahasaraswati. She knows that all fits. In her plan, everybody is fit. She finds them a place. Whether or not that person is actually fit or not is a different aspect. She'll keep working on them. She'll try to make them fit. Whatever she utilizes, whoever she has. She does not try to see what is the qualification of that person. It's like a college which is taking admission of every applicant, not seeing what is the grade point average or what is the past academic performance, nothing. For her work, she understands there is a place, there is a time for things, so she utilizes. Let's go on. And the right moment and place is ergo manifested by her grace. She knows the condition, she knows the space, she decides the moment also to manifest her grace. But she is strict. Now, this is the problem. We all like teachers who are lenient, but then when the lenient teacher becomes strict, nobody likes. So here, Maya Saraswati also is strict, unfortunately. If we thought there is one goddess who is going to allow everything, like we would say some free period in school, you can do anything you want. No, in hers also there's a lot of freedom, but there's a strictness. What is her criteria? Let's see. We'll stop with this. But she is strict in her intolerance for inertial negligence, detesting heavy handedness, haste, and even the slightest indolence. What is she hating? She is hating laziness. She is hating what is this? Inertia. All of this inertial negligence. So she does not tolerate it at all. The Saraswati does not. She does not like heavy handedness. She does not like haste. Of course, how will she like brash works when she herself she's working even with the asuras for manifesting something right with a lot of patience, and suddenly people stop using it, then she will not allow the force to work. Basically, what does gods do? They are just removing power supply when they get angry. Human appliances won't work. That is all. How they remove is all the matter of their functioning. Mahakali has different way. Maheshwaris, you will never understand why this machine is not working only. That is Maheshwari's breakdown. You don't know why it's happening. Mahakali will tell you, short circuit is there because here the load was too much. No immediate reaction is there. Mahasaraswati will allow you to work, and slowly, finally, that time also when you have not. Mahalakshmi also has her own role. So, like this, inertial negligence, if you are having what we call tamas inside of you, you are going to not receive the grace of the mother. Mother Saraswati also will not tolerate this. So let us see, we will just see further, because this is something interesting. Because one side she's very, very, very patient. She has so much patience, which is what we can say endless. But you cannot take it for granted. She will not tolerate. What will happen when Mahasaraswati takes her hand? Anybody?
There's no progress.
There's no progress. Vidya is lost. The wise person becomes the fool. The person who is, I also, that's why I get very worried every time when I'm doing this Shanti Mantra, even if I have told it 100 times, I want to ensure it is right, because I have seen in one program where a very famous person who is well versed in so many Shastras and who is a great Sanskrit scholar, the very basic mantra which he would have told 100 times, 1,000 times, he was not able to chant. He started off and stopped, started off and stopped, because he wanted to say something else, something else. His consciousness was not there. This is where disconnection, we can say, no indication. But despite having the wisdom, you're not able to connect with what you want to do. And there is still no that even asking the forgiveness from the divine, then trying to proceed also was not there. So what is this? This is what happens when the hand of Mahasaraswati comes out. You lose the wisdom. What happened to Karna? Karna lost the wisdom at the important time when he needed it, no? So this is why we must understand we should not do things which are driven by inertial ignorance. Tamas. Tamas is what? It is inertia, not just laziness also. It is a distortion. We have seen, isn't it? Tamasic action is what? Any action that is going to spread discomfort, spread discord, which is going to spread darkness. So here, from this, we understand that no, she will not bless the terrorist because his actions are of tamas, of that darkness, of the andhakar. So then her hand will come out, and then this person will be trapped in the karma bandhana, the loop of action and reaction. So with this, I think we can probably conclude today. If anybody
There
has
is
any
that
queries.
story of Mukambika Devi, like just when that
Ah.
Asura was about to ask for a boon, she makes him Muka, so he cannot speak.
Yeah. Yes, yes. No, many times this happens if we are very conscious. No, we go to speak to somebody with some particular intention of saying something, and suddenly we forget that. Oh, it just slipped my mind. Now, what? Somebody has done some magic. My friends used to watch these books, and they would talk about spells which will make people forget. But it's not that. But somewhere we can say consciousness is now, it's not connected, or Mother Saraswati does not want that link to happen. We go with an intention of speaking something and something else happens, because n xyz factors are there. You start talking something, your friend starts talking even loudly at the same time. So what you are saying is not going to, and the entire conversation shifts to your friend only. And here you are, "Arey, I was telling this, looks like Maha Saraswati is not supporting me today. She's not supporting me in my meeting with my friends also." Instead of getting angry with her, try to understand why she is not supporting, you will get the answer. But this is how she is functioning. With this, I think we will stop today. If somebody can summarize anything that we have seen today. Yes, please. Also, if any queries are there, they are also welcome. Yes, anybody?
May I?
Yeah, yeah, please go on,
Okay, it's
No, no,
very
please,
nice
please go
today.
ahead.
We
Yeah.
have competition, Chitraji, Chaitanyaji, and Reshmaji. So yes, please. All three can summarize. Because I remember Chitraji's and Chaitanyaji's very often I have got the chance, and I always look forward for these summaries. Reshmaji, please, after you. Yes, Ji.
yeah, I'll just begin and comments, and probably others can join and continue.
Yeah.
Saraswati.
Yes, yeah. Um,
Yeah, so can you hear me?
yeah, I can hear you.
Yeah, so Saraswati is the executive force, someone who is very closest to uh, the work of the mortals, closest to us, and she is the youngest among other four aspects, other four mothers. She is the one who has, she is the one who is bringing all the work to perfection. Not just bringing, she also engineers it, takes absolute patience and endurance to manifest right from physical matter to everything else into the best possible manifestation. She is someone who is creating a perfect worker, and makes him the chosen one to bring her manifestation into according to her will. She bestows to that person complete boons who has absolute knowledge, patience, uh, subtlety, and to a greater further, if we take it further, it is like perfect intuition, clarity, and then when all these things are there, it can be said that she is absolutely present, and it indicates that it is she who is worldly present among us. Uh, I would request others to continue.
Yes, yeah. Yes, yeah. Thank you, Reshma ji. So her presence has been confirmed or reaffirmed, we can say,
Yes,
by these factors.
real, yes.
Yes. So yes. Chaitanya ji and Chitra ji, either one, anybody. Okay, Chaitanya ji starting. Yes, please.
Yeah. So I will just add to what has been already said wonderfully. So I think she hates the laziness, haste, and that inertial negligence or the resistance to work. So that is what I mean. If there are conditions, if she's granting you her grace and you are still not ready to work, then that is what she something she does not like, and then there is that disconnect that happens that you explained. Then. If you actually, I mean, she never abandons or if you are actually giving her a call with genuine, very genuinely and very honestly, she will respond. She does not forsake. She has ultimate patience, and she keeps working tirelessly to complete the God's will. So, and I think one of the we talked about the patience that she has because she does not give up on anyone anytime. So if there has to be some wait, then she waits for that amount of time. She actually chooses when to manifest. And I think that is, I mean, from my thing, it is the one of the reasons for that is because she is the manifestation of the higher force, and there is no I that comes with her. So she's already
Yeah.
catering to the will of the higher one. So normally that end of patience or frustration is because something we say, I don't want to do it, or I am not happy doing this.
Hmm.
That is something is absolutely not that, because there is no I. She is actually catering to the higher will, and that is the reason probably she is actually
Yes.
able to be so patient with people like us probably, and work with us so closely. So yeah, that. And yeah she her energy and resources or the faculties are endless, limitless, and she uses them all to to take the world to, I mean, take the work to completion. And whatever has happened is happening or will happen, she probably knows, and she goes ahead in that consciousness. And yeah, I think yeah, that is what I have additionally. What?
All right. Yes, yes, sir. Yes, ji, Chaitanya ji. Thank you for that summary. Chitra ji, what would you like to add? Any point you would like to add?
I think most of the things were covered. Yeah. So in the new creation or a new transformation that happens, it's
Ah, new
a
creation.
reflection of
Yes.
her grace and perfection.
Yes. Yes, yes. New creation. That is something which is hers. So this is Mahasaraswati is somewhat closest to all of us. Why Sri Aurobindo has said is probably, I think we all get that feeling also when we understand her powers. She's approachable. She's okay. She's going to. She knows that we are having a lot of imperfection, but she's been working on it so long. She knows that for so many of us, every time. Means, but how does a perfectionist deal with imperfection is the biggest question. People say that is why perfectionist cannot be in company with of an imperfectionist. This is what people say. So that's why you are like bringing fire and water together if you bring a perfectionist. And a lot of people get irritated with perfectionists because perfection is, somebody told me perfection is a myth. So what's the use of trying to bring that? I think look at Krishna in the Gita. He is a perfectionist, isn't it? Yogeshwara, one who brings union everywhere, even the opposites. He can understand, he can reconcile, make them reconcile. And he also talks about imperfection in the Gita. The perfectionist who says yoga karmasu kaushalam also says it's okay, boss, if you make some mistakes. Every action which is human is fraught with mistakes, he says. So, but follow your work. As you start becoming better, these mistakes will disappear, and that is how you will get your siddhi through action. You have to start. This is example also he gives. He gives the example of fire and smoke. Fire is must. By what? By smoke. Smoke comes from where? From the fire only. So the brilliant fire itself is getting masked by smoke. Why will a brilliant action not be somewhere covered by some defect? That's all right, but keep working ahead. But understand, instead of being rigid or frustrated or disturbed by him, because that becomes a problem sometimes in relations with people also. Means it is good to have ideals, but it is not good to impose it everywhere, isn't it? Instead, be like Mahasaraswati. She's tolerating a lot of imperfection, but she's trying to move towards perfection. She's trying to move others towards perfection. So probably that is what we can try, but at least forget others if we are focusing on ourselves. Let's try to move towards that without getting frustrated. That would be the right way to move ahead. So that's just one more point that we would like to look at, and with this we conclude with the Shanti Mantra. सर्वे भवन्तु सुखिनः सर्वे सन्तु निरामयाः सर्वे भद्राणि पश्यन्तु मा कश्चित् दुःखभाग् भवेत् हरि ओम तत्सत् कृष्ण वंदे जगन्नाथ यस हरि ओम नमस्ते यस
Hariom.
नमस्ते जी हरि ओम we conclude our session if there are no queries